Welcome to the short webinar entitled Reduce to the Max. The key question of this webinar is, how can the environmental and economic sustainability of corrugated board packaging be improved without creating disadvantages? Reduce to the max means reducing the use of resources in the production of a package at the absolute minimum without compromising the function of the package. At the same time, reduce to the max means increasing the sustainability of a package and the economics of your production in every respect, despite the resource savings. Corrugated board packaging is a model of sustainability. For the corrugated board industry, the circular economy is a matter of course. After all, today's corrugated packaging is perfectly circular. It is 100% recyclable, bio-based, and biodegradable. In this short webinar, we will show how new production methods can further optimize the manufacture of corrugated packaging in terms of resource-saving production combined with the economic advantage of a significant reduction in production costs. Leading consultancies show that sustainability must become part of a company's DNA in order to compete. The global trend towards sustainability is undeniable. The question is how companies can take advantage of it. The sustainability profile of your production is an important factor for many customers when choosing a particular manufacturer and is enhanced by the resource-saving potential shown here. Comprehensible facts enable trustworthy marketing and avoid non-transparent green claims. The way to reduce the economic and environmental costs of corrugated board from the outset. Prevention reduces production costs. Resources that are not used do not cause costs. It is not without reason that the prevention is the supreme discipline at the top of the European waste pyramid. In addition to reducing basis weights, saving adhesive is an effective means of conserving resources in corrugated board production and reducing production costs. Adhesive is applied in short lines rather than in a continuous line. In this way, up to 50% of the adhesive can be saved. Stitching, as the process is called, is not new. However, it has met with widespread skepticism in the corrugated industry. There's a fear of trade-offs, i.e. that the adhesive savings will lead to a deterioration of other aspects of the packaging production for the packaging function. In this webinar, we will show that these legitimate concerns are overcome by the implementation of adhesive savings in the new Baumer HHS core box solution. Packaging design must ensure the protection of the packaged product from the point of packaging or filling to the end user to prevent significant product damage, loss, deterioration, or waste. There is a concern that a small amount of adhesive could cause the package to open or reduce the BCT value. There would be a risk of the corrugated packaging packaged goods. Concerns that Baumer HHS takes seriously. Therefore, the accredited test laboratory Papiertechnische Stiftung Heidenau was commissioned to carry out a neutral BCT and adhesive strength test on a FEFCO 201 packaging with different adhesive application rates. Although the PTS test series has not yet been fully completed, initial results of the adhesion test show that the cover paper always showed fiber breakage, regardless of the amount of adhesive applied. The paper is therefore the weakest link, not the adhesive. According to studies in the USA, the adhesive strength can even be increased by staggering the application of the 3 line layers. These findings have been incorporated directly into the CORBOX solution algorithm. The results are available for the second PTS test complex, which deals with the influence of different adhesive application quantities on the box compression tests. Baumer HHS will be happy to provide the PTS test report upon completion of the test series. There was also justifiable concern that saving adhesive could lead to more frequent switching of the adhesive guns, and therefore faster failure of the adhesive guns. The savings in adhesive would come at the cost of increased spare parts requirements. It is true that higher switching frequencies tend to result in higher coil heating of the electromagnetic drive. Excessive coil heating is the main cause of premature glue gun failure. Baumer HHS can give the all clear here. In the case of the predecessor model of the current PX1000, the PL500, repair and service data proved that the PL500 glue application valve worked reliable for years and completed several billion switching cycles without any problems. In the current PX1000 model used in the CORBOX solution, coil temperatures in continuous operation have been significantly reduced by a further 15% thanks to an optimized coil design. Fears of premature failure of the adhesive application valve have been allayed by the improved parameter characteristics of the PX. Although long-term experience over several years is not yet available. In fact, an extension of the service life can be expected. Customer reports and all field tests of the CORBOX solution unanimously show that the use of the CORBOX solution glue saving mode does not lead to any limitation of the maximum production speed of the flexo folder gluer. This means that the glue savings do not have to be paid for with a loss of productivity. Other factors that need to be considered when assessing the sustainability of adhesives are the recyclability of the adhesive and its packaging, its durability, and the toxicity of its components. Concerns have been raised that the conservation of adhesive could have a negative impact on the recycling of corrugated packaging. Efforts to increase the recovery and quality of recycled fiber and paper recycling are negatively affected by non-recyclable contaminants such as inks, adhesives, and waxes. Sticky contaminants that can adhere to fibers and processing equipment are particularly problematic. These substances can interfere with paper production and recycling, and also affect the performance of the final products. How is waste paper recycled? Reconditioning involves shredding the waste paper into a pulp. This pulp goes through a multi-stage cleaning process to remove foreign matter. There are a number of cleaning processes, the most important of which is fine screening system. The purpose of this multi-stage system is to minimize fiber loss by having each stage rescreen the rejects from the previous stage. The stitching process not only saves glue, but also has a positive effect on the recycling process. In stitching mode, a continuous adhesive application is divided into many shorter partial applications, which are applied in a dome shape. This shape increases the bond area during the joining process due to the pressing process. As a result, each partial stitch is long and thick enough to increase shielding reliability. By saving up to 50% of the adhesive used in stitching process, the total amount of adhesive used in the recycling process is significantly lower, there's less waste, and the screens are less likely to clog. Fewer fibers are also bound by the adhesive. The COBOX solutions adhesive savings are also environmentally sustainable in other ways. Sustainability starts with the raw materials and manufacturing processes used in the production of adhesives. The production of adhesives, whether neutral or synthetic, always requires the use of energy and natural resources. Before an adhesive reaches the customer, raw materials must first be extracted, then processed and manufactured, and finally distributed. Extraction involves taking raw materials from the natural environment, which often has a negative impact on the environment. During manufacturing, the raw materials are transformed into the product, often using energy and resources-intensive processes. Finally, the product is delivered to the end user. It is not difficult to understand that adhesives that are not consumed do not have these environmental impacts. These are reduced by up to 50% through savings. Allow me to briefly summarize what has been said. Careful use of resources is a necessity now and in the future. This is true regardless of the type of adhesive. Reducing the amount of adhesive used by stitching improves the life cycle assessment of an adhesive, from extraction to recycling in combination with the packaging material. Stitching is also economically sustainable, as up to 50% of the adhesive can be saved without compromising the packaging function. My name is Marcel van Meegen. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions about these topics. Thank you for taking the time to look into the topic of improving your production ecologically and economically.